Hello and welcome into roadcraft. Today I'm building a road across Deluge to get a convoy through to the pump station for repairs. The real question is, can I actually get them through on the first try? Let's see how this goes. Welcome to Deluge. I am currently sitting here at the industrial base and I need to plot a route from here to the backup pump station, which is east of here. I don't have a lot of roads built that way. I have a couple bridges. Um, I've scouted several different routes that will take us up in through there. I could go this way, but then I have to curve up to get to the pump station. There's a road right here somewhere. Yeah, right here. That would lead me to the pump station. But I've chosen to dump some sand to the south here across this little marshy area, and we're going to build a road pretty much straight south to get over here to where I already have a little bit of road infrastructure and pretty much head straight up to the pump station. I've driven the Cronenwork L34, I believe. I pronounced that right. Basically, my dozer over to where I dumped the sand. And so we're just going to level this out so we can get across the water easily. I don't know exactly what kind of trucks we're going to be sending on this convoy. I'm hoping there's somewhat of an off-road variety, so instead of building a complete road paved, I'm first going to set everything with sand, and then we'll look at it. And then I think I'll probably just try to send it. Now, I really want to get this done in the first shot. Usually I have to go make modifications. And given my mindset, you can probably see why, because we are going to lay the sand down, spread it out. We'll give it a quick look. Now, if the trucks we're sending aren't off-road at all, then we're gonna have to pave it. But we're gonna try to send them on just the sand. We're gonna take the dump truck, and there were some holes. We're gonna fill those up just a little bit so we can. I want it to be, fairly smooth. We're not gonna pave it, so I need it to be fairly smooth. It doesn't need to be perfect, but we need to make it fairly smooth. And well, this truck is kind of hard to control. Now we have many different dump trucks in the game, probably 4 or 5. This one was useless up until a couple weeks ago because every time you drove, it would just spill sand everywhere. If you've played roadcraft, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was nearly just unusable. But now we're good to go. They fixed the dump truck. It can now hold sand better than some of the others, honestly. And it also holds more than any of the others. So I've been using it quite a bit more. The downside is obviously it's harder to steer. So it's like articulate. So that makes it harder to drive in third person, especially when the bed is up. When the bed's up, you might not be able to see a rock or a bump. And if you hit that, it's going to throw you off course and kind of kick your rear end out, or just make you turn a direction you don't want to. Other than that, you could drive it in first person, and I do sometimes if it's fairly flat, and I don't know. I just really like to dump sand in third person. So we got the sand to the top of the hill, back in the dozer, and we'll even this out. Should be fairly simple. Looks like it's doing a pretty good job of keeping it pretty flat as it is. My only concern really for this part of our path that we're creating, it would be that it would be too steep for whatever truck we have. But I mean, that looks pretty good. One pass is probably going to be enough for that. I'll go back down and check it out though, just to make sure there's no surprises I didn't notice. As I'm sure you noticed, it has started raining. I went down and touched up a couple spots. There was a couple bumps that I thought were a little too big, so took a few more loads of sand down there, and also had a couple piles down in the water I needed to smooth out, but I got those all done. So I think we're ready to park this, and we're going to continue on our route. Let me actually get this out of the way, just in case we don't need it. So we'll switch to the dump truck, and I'll drive further up the route, and if we run into any mud or water, I will be able to fill it with sand as we go. until we get up to the pump station. So I'm just gonna run up here, and once I get up here, I actually have already taken trucks through from a different convoy up here, so we should be good. Just slow going in this thing because it's full of 20 tons of sand. One other benefit to this truck that, I mean, if you play roadcraft, you probably already know, but if you are new to it, thinking about getting it, this truck works as a mobile quarry. So if I park it here, it'll actually create a place where I can draw sand from if I'm not currently close enough to a quarry. Once we get across the river on this rickety old bridge, it's not in the best shape, but it will it'll work for what we have to do. Now we just have to get through this quarry up here, and soon we'll be able to start heading up towards the pump station. It's now popping up on the mini map, so we're getting pretty close. Oh, it's getting a little soft right here, though. A little bit soft in that hole. I think we'll go ahead and back up, and we'll just put a road through this area real quick. I'm certain there's probably a couple more soft areas, so we will. Might as well just back up to where this turns in here, and we'll just start dumping here. We'll just pour more sand right here through this sand quarry. Pretty soft in here. And we'll start dumping the next load right here. This is probably overkill. We may not have needed to do that, but it better to be safe than sorry. We'll just fill up one more time. Should be enough to get through this. Then we'll just have to test the ground up here to see how solid it is. Don't want to go up there, but there is a route right here that already exists. We might be able to cut up and over there. So we definitely can't go through the rocks, but once we start dumping, we will head maybe towards that tree and just see if we can cut through and maybe make this just a little bit shorter. Look at the map here. Yeah, I think we can definitely cut through there. Right here's the little route that goes up. Looks like it might be a little bit muddy, but it'll be just fine once we... Oh yeah, it's very muddy. Maybe it was just a dip. We'll get some sand and we'll pour it up in there. We're a little out of level here, so maybe not get a full load. We can just push this tree out of our way. It's just kind of dumping out as we put it in because it's just a little too out of level here. So we'll get plenty of sand right here to work around. Make sure we have a nice turning radius set up for our convoy when they come through. So yep, they'll just come right up through here. Just got to make this turn and then pretty much follow the rest of this path up to the pump house. We're almost there. And by the time we get this all sanded up here, should be good. We're not doing too bad keeping it fairly straight in third person. Just really getting accustomed to the truck, which is great because it has double the capacity of the truck I use most of the time before they fix this one, the pre-order truck. So if I can master the steering, even though it doesn't have tracks, I can, build roads so much faster because it's got twice as much capacity. Feels like we're getting really close to the top of the hill. Flattening out up here. And I think I see so the road that leads up here is right here. I need to get a little bit more sand in here and we need to make that just a little bit wider. At the angle we were dumping at, it was kind of dumping out strongly on the right side. So we need to try to fill it in a little bit on the left side before we come up here and hit it with our bulldozer or grader. This might be the last load of sand we need if we can get it where we need it. That looks a lot better. We're going to be able to work with that, I think. That should work. It's definitely solid enough up here that that should be the last load. So I'll go ahead and get this dump truck pulled out of the way. Then we'll go down and grab our grader and we'll grade some sand on the way up. We are marching. So dumb. One of my biggest complaints about this game is the bucket so high. Nobody drives around like that. You can put it in manual mode, like where you put the blade or the bucket, but you drive so much slower. Nobody would drive like this. It's such a tip hazard, but it is what it is. We need to get up there quick because we left this pretty far away from where we actually got to. We're almost to the finish line. Here's our first pile of sand. We just crossed the bridge. We just got to do some work here at the quarry. And it's pretty much uphill. We got a little shortcut we built up here. I mean, it didn't save us a lot of time, but a little bit. Actually, I think it will be a little bit better rounded turn than it would have been if we would have. Yeah, we didn't dump this too bad. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but I think one trip through here, it's looking pretty smooth behind me. One trip through here, and we may be good to go. Right up there's the pump station, and once we get there, we'll be ready to send this convoy and see if we can get them there on the first try. That's where we decided to make our little shortcut instead of going a little bit further to the west. Glad I dumped a little extra sand there. That makes it seem a little bit more stable. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Those rocks could maybe be an issue, but I will definitely come back through for another pass and see if we can't push those out of the way. Hopefully our AI drivers make nice turns. Sometimes they're so bad. Sometimes they are just so bad. When that gets us to the top, to the pump house, I'll run over that one more time, and then we'll send the convoy up here and see if they can make it. Got the last couple plots here. Just about ready to send this. Just got to make sure we don't get too dramatic of an angle like that. It won't work. So that should be good. Okay. This is the time. Here comes our first truck. Nice. It looks like a Voron type vehicle, so I think these trucks will be just fine on the way up there. We'll find out. Bringing up some parts to fix the pump up there. Backup pump station. Looks like 2 vehicles only. Oops, I didn't mean to switch to that. We're going to stick with these trucks and see how well our route works out for them. Back in one of these. There we go. This driving's not bad. That's good. It seems a little tighter than some of the trucks. You just never know what you're going to get. Ooh! That was close. I'm glad we didn't get hung up there. That would have been terrible to fail before we ever got out of the yard. Alright, our friend back there made it also. Looking good. Here you can see what I did with this road. I just added a little bit of sand and tried to take a couple of the big bumps out of it so it would have no problem getting up. That worked like a dream. That was perfect. We got good AI drivers today. They're doing fairly good compared to what they can do. I'm actually surprised they don't have these painted as my company trucks. A lot of times when you send Convoy, it's not every time, but a lot of the time they paint them your company colors. This is a convoy of subcontractors. Should have no problem getting to the bridge. Just have to make it through the quarry area, then our shortcut onto the path that already existed and do the backup pump. Feeling pretty good about it. We'll see when we get up there around the shortcut area. And it would suck if I accidentally clicked one of my dots in one of these holes and the tire got stuck. Looking good though. I'm really excited to finally get into some roadcraft on the channel. I play this a decent amount of time, but I've had, I had the Cruising Iowa American Truck Simulator event that took a lot of time. That was 11 episodes. We're also on the second SnowRunner series. We're in a moor right now. Now, finally getting some roadcraft on the channel. So I've been talking about it for feels like a couple months, and I'm gonna finally get something. It's nothing spectacular, but it's good to get a video on the channel for roadcraft. I am really happy with the way that these trucks are progressing up this path. As long as I put all the dots in the right place, I have a really good feeling about them ending up at the pump house on the first try. We have a lot of news coming up in simulation games. American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator are both coming to Xbox and PlayStation in the future. Also, we're getting a passenger vehicle update for American Truck Simulator, so you'll be able to drive in cars and trucks. I saw there's a Dodge and Ford pack both announced so far, so that's exciting. SnowRunner's Year 5 Pass has been announced, so we have 4 more seasons coming up of SnowRunner. That's supposedly being able to be pre-ordered September, like in the next coming days. So we get SnowRunner season 16 soon because that's got to come out before season 17. There's a lot of things going on in the world of simulation. It's an exciting time. And there we have it. We have completed it. First try. So that's exciting. Um, Saber Interactive has announced a couple of games that I had nowhere on my radar. They're releasing a ATS style game. I think it'll have a little bit of story, it sounds like. It takes place in northern Florida and southern Georgia. That game is called Kings of the Road or something along those lines. And they'll have another game coming out that has to deal with docks, like I don't know, shipyards. I'm not really sure. It's called Docked. I haven't looked too much into that one, but I'm really excited for the other for the other games. So a lot coming up in the world of gaming and quite a bit going on the channel. So that ends this episode. I want to thank everybody who took the time to watch it. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up. Helps the channel out a lot. If you want to see more content like this in the future, hit subscribe and the notification bell, and you will get notified when I upload, which is usually on Wednesdays and Saturdays. The last couple weeks I've live streamed a couple times. That'll just be random times when I feel like, but you can pretty much count on the Wednesday, Saturday release schedule. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next episode.